All right, welcome to Sport Talk on Enterprise TV, where we give you all the latest on what is happening in the world of sport. It is no longer a news that the Premier League is back. La Liga is also back, and today we'll be doing the review of the matches that went down over the weekend from the English Premier League to La Liga and, of course, the French Ligue 1. How about the Tigers? They did wonderfully well over the weekend. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. My name is John Olashkomi. Join me on Let's Ride Together. Joining me virtually today on the show is Daniel Ozege, making a return back to Sport Talk. Daniel, welcome to Sport Talk.
Many thanks for having me. Feels great to be here once again. Lovely weekend to experience the beginning of the football season, especially in the major league, talking about in Spain and then in England. Like you rightfully mentioned, the Tigers were also in action. A brilliant victory there, making it three victories over there. And, lots of talking points. Even the Cincinnati, Open also going on in tennis. Lots of sporting activities across the globe.
All right, welcome to Sport Talk once again, Daniel Ozege. Well, you know how we do it. Charity begins at home. We always start with local football. In as much as the Super Eagles be out of the CHAN 2024, we just have to talk about their last game coming up against Congo. Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles face a decisive test against Congo in their final group stage fixture at the 2024 African Cup of Nations CHAN. The clash will be staged at the Benjamin Mkapa National Stadium in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania on Tuesday, August 19. All right, Daniel Ozege, I just want to talk about the last game of the Super Eagles B. They lost the first game to Senegal 1-0, and of course, that shambolic performance against Sudan, where they lost 4 goals to nothing, and they'll be playing their last game at the ongoing CHAN 2024 against Congo. We all know they are not fighting for anything. They just want to play for pride. I just hope that at the end of the day, they get to win this one coming on August 19, 2024 against Congo. What are your thoughts on this game? The Super Eagles of Nigeria B versus Congo.
In as much as this game looks to be an inconsequential match for the Super Eagles B, but for Congo, it means everything to them because having played against Senegal and also played against Sudan, they were able to muster 2 draws from this opening fixtures of theirs. So this is a must-win match for them because anything short of victory erases any chance of them qualifying for the next round. It's a very dicey one for them, trust me, because Senegal and Sudan are currently on 4 points.
Yes, of course.
Sudan are in third position with 3 points. So this means that a victory for them and a victory for either side in the in the other match that will be going on simultaneously will mean that they will seal qualification as the second place team, right? But if they go on to draw the game, it's all but loss for them. Another thing to consider is that they have to win and win well, because they have to bear in mind that the other game between Sudan and Senegal will also end in a stalemate. If it does end in a stalemate, what then happens, to them? Goals difference will have to come to play, right?
And of course, Sudan also defeated the Super Eagles 4 goals to nothing.
Yes, so they have a +4 goals difference. Senegal has a +1 goal difference. So if they defeat the Super Eagles by a goals difference, we'll have to start looking at how many goals for and all of that.
Yes,
so this is something that they want to get rid of as soon as possible. They take a cue from the fact that Sudan were able to defeat the Super Eagles by 4 goals to me, to say, okay, you know what? Why not try to defeat these guys by at least a 2-goal margin? That would definitely seal qualification for them. A 2-goal margin victory will ensure that they have 5 points. They will have +2 goals difference. So if the other game ends in a draw, it will be a case whereby they will finish runners-up with 2 goals difference, 5 points and 5 points, just like the first and the third place team. If they win and either side, wins, it's still a win for them. So I think they can look at this as a qualification match where a victory is paramount. Aside a victory, a 2-goal, margin victory seals qualification for them, guaranteed. Yeah, so I think that's what they will look out for. And what better team to face than a team that is fighting for nothing? But you know why it is. Sometimes a man who is down fears no further defeat. So they could give in their best to try to sell themselves for the few agents that play at this competition, because we understand that always scouts and agents at competitions like this. Because it's something of, we know these players are professionals, we know they're representing their countries, but it's like it can be likened to a grassroots competition because all these players play, locally in their country. So who says the Chinese Goose cannot even just at least go for this one, since they don't have anything to lose, just try to showcase themselves and see if they can get deals from neighboring countries in Africa and beyond.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think they should play for pride, or they just allow it to go?
No. At the end of the day, no team wants to go an entire competition without even making a mark, right? They win in this match. Eventually they're going to crash out, but it will mean that they will finish in third position, which means it's not doom and gloom. At the end of the day, they were still able to muster 3 points, right? They were better than one team in the group, okay? In as much as they were not as good as the two other teams in the group. So they're still going to come and fighting, I expect.
You know what, Daniel? You said something about the Eagles B. You said if they win this one, they will finish in third position. Then I was like, once again, let's take a look at the country in that same group. You have Senegal, you have Congo, you have Sudan, and Nigeria will come third. Come on, that's crazy, in my own opinion. I just feel there is something wrong, with that team. Finishing third.
It's a well-known fact that there are so many challenges with our league. All right, we have to understand the fact that countries like Congo, like you mentioned, have a certain TP Mazembe, a team that has a lot of fantastic facilities, at their peril. Yes, okay. TP Mazembe is from DR Congo, but this is the other Congo, right? Like rightfully say, we're yet to face them, so we don't know if we're going to come out tops there. But we have teams like Sudan, who have the likes of Al-Merrikh, who on a very good day come up against any MPFL team. You can't bet against them. The Senegalese, we know the development has been happening in their league in recent years. You understand, even down to their national teams. Senegal at some point were under 20 champions in Africa, were senior team champions in Africa. You understand? So it goes to show that there's football development in that country, right? When last they would have the Flying Eagles or the Golden Englets do well, in the regional championships, talk less on the global stage. Okay, so that's that for that. The under 20s is always a team assembled from home-based young stars, right? So if the Senegalese could have become African champions at that point, that means they have youngsters who must have advanced into signing proper professional contracts with teams in their country. So it's only natural that their chanting will be solid. Our teams hardly make it to the group stages, and in fact, they almost never get into the group stages of the CAF Champions League. When teams drop out of the CAF Champions League and drop down to the CAF Confederations Cup, make it to the group stage, they struggle to qualify, for the knockout phases. Yes, and when they do, they crash immediately after. So then, how do you expect a different result when it comes to when it comes to the champ competition?
All right, let's see how it goes. August 19, 2025, the Super Eagles of Nigeria beat the Chan Eagles, who definitely slug it out with Congo in their last game of the tournament. Away from Chan, let's move straight to the camp of the Super Eagles, where some of the A-list players of the Super Eagles did well over the weekend, from Christantus to senior man, Victor James Osimhen making a return, and of course, Wilfred Ndidi also made his debut in Turkey. Let's start with La Liga. Super Eagles striker Christantus Uche was voted man of the match after inspiring Getafe to a 2-0 win over Celta Vigo in their La Liga clash on a Sunday night. We'd also talk about Christantus Uche with what he did with Getafe last season, and a lot of us rooted for him. We also shouted his name that he should be called to the national team, to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And of course, they should not just invite him, he should always start. And a lot of people came out with, with a lot of, analysis that Christantus Uche is more of a a forward than a midfielder. Where do you want us to play him and not? But we can't take away the performance of Christantus Uche with what he did last season, and of course he has started again this season. He also won the man of the match against Getafe. All right, Daniel, what are your thoughts? Do you think Christantus Uche should always start for the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
Pushing for him to start might be, too much for starters, to be honest, because you took a look at the fact that we have a certain Victor Osimhen who has made that position his own. We have to understand that he's...
Daniel, not as a number 9. Okay. He's not a number 9. He's not a number 9 striker. Yeah. He can play behind the striker and, of course, play from the midfield.
Yes, it's no secret that he's more of a midfielder actually. However, judging by his role, the role that he was deployed in yesterday,
yes,
he still played a 5-3-2 formation. He was one of the 2 strikers up front, and that's why he could get so much involved in the game, so much that he scored a goal and provided an assist. Right, so totally involved in both goals, and he's a player that his growth has been very, very rapid. Right, from like 2 years ago, he was playing down in Spain. All of a sudden, move up on move, and now he's in the big time playing in the La Liga. Right, yes, he should be given an opportunity. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's our style. We always tend to, will I say, patronize players who apply their trades abroad. So this shouldn't be any different. Okay, however. It's difficult to see him just walking into that team, especially because of Dele Bashiru has been decent for the Super Eagles, has scored 1 or 2 important goals for the Super Eagles at some point. He wears the jersey number 10 in that position that you are liking him to play. There's still a certain Victor Boniface that we are still hoping on to come good for the Super Eagles at some point. All right, so and Boniface doesn't even get to start for the Super Eagles, right? So it's looking very difficult, but if you don't try him out, how will you be sure that he's going to deliver or not? So I think
because at this point in time, Daniel, I feel we need all our best legs, most especially for the next qualifier. We need all our best legs, in my own opinion.
But the only challenge is that it's the national team at the end of the day. You know how difficult it can be to play in the national team. You come into camp. You train for 2 or 3 days. You have a match to play. Where's the time for cohesion? Where's the time for would I say habitation? You understand? Where all the players get to gel, get to understand.
Of course, be familiar with his teammates.
You understand? So that's the challenge there. Having been it's a club side, you have maybe one month of preseason. You could have the privilege of, okay, let's see what you can do for one more for the first month of the season while you settle in and all of that. Those kind of opportunities can make a player grow into that position, right? But the fact that he's not been a major part of that team, from the still pictures that have been projected, you could see that it's not as if he has not featured for Nigeria before.
Yes, of course.
But what his involvement was in friendlies.
Yes, he was part of the team that won the Unity Cup.
Unity Cup, you understand? So now, which of our first teamers were in that squad? Victor Osimhen wasn't part of that squad. You understand? The big boys weren't part of that squad. Lukman was not part of that squad. You understand? So how then will he adjust from playing with the players who will not get into the main team now to playing with the main teamers when the qualifiers come around next month? So those are the questions that has to be asked. And trust me, like I said, he should be given an opportunity, but to just throw him into the fray, you never can tell. That I don't want to let the cat out of the bag talking about foreign football, but we saw a certain player who is a goal machine play for 1 hour yesterday. You understand, and couldn't muster a shot. not even a shot on target, just a shot, not an attempt or chance created. You understand? Well, he couldn't. So that different strokes for different folks at the end of the day. His destiny lies in the hands of the creator. Different dudes with their own or different players rather with their career path. Yeah, so we don't know if he's going to have that kind of path where he comes in and makes an instant impact, or it might be a slow boomer. Yeah, so that's left for the coaches to decide if they are willing to take the gamble or not.
All right, and the good news is Victor James Osimhen returns for Galatasaray. He was part of the team that won over the weekend. He played a little in that game. And of course, Wilfred Didi also made his own debut over the weekend in Turkey. That's a good news, for all Nigerians, and of course, as we prepare for the next qualifiers. I saw all the top teams in La Liga and of course in the Premier League. No Victor James Osimhen, but he is somewhere enjoying himself. And Osimhen feel loved. Same applicable to Wilfred Ndidi. What are your thoughts on Victor James Osimhen making a return back to Galatasaray and of course in that match that they won over the weekend?
Well, Turkey is home for Victor now. His home used to be Naples in Italy, but he's found a home in Turkey there, and we're glad to know that his career is his future has been sorted out. Okay, fantastic addition for Galatasaray. We say it was on trial last year, not trial literally in football terms, but trial in the sense that he was just signed on loan. And he passed the audition, right, in flying colors. Okay, so now that the season has commenced, we can see that Mauro Icardi is also back and fit. Both of them had to start from the bench. You understand, because they could have told that okay, these guys that have our best legs. You understand that, but since we don't have stiff opposition, let's keep them fresh. Throw them in the second half, and so they can get some few minutes under their belt. And to just prepare them for subsequent games. Okay, but at this point in time, Galatasaray, I've just picked it up from where they stopped last term, where the blue team's about in Turkey. It looks like it's going to be another season of dominance. It's good to even see.
You can imagine having Mauro Icardi, Leroy Sané, and of course Victor James Osimhen up front. Come on.
Yes,
that's a massive attack.
Looks very, very, very scary. Leroy Sané is a player that I love so much. Fantastic player anytime I did. Very quick. Has an eye for a goal. He knows how to play make as well. He can be a playmaker for his teammates. So I feel that actually definitely are destined to win the Super League yet again. But you never know. Individuals don't win football. It's what football matches rather. A proper team does, and it's less for us to see.
Don't forget, there is Jose Mourinho Fenerbahce to compete with. There is Besiktas, where Wilfred Ndidi is, and of course, they also signed Tammy Abraham. Of course, they can also give them a run for their money.
Yeah, it came good last night for Besiktas. As soon as possible, got on the scorer sheet. Wilfred Ndidi too was played a major part of that game.
Yes, of course.
Good to see that he's playing for a top team in Turkey. A lot of question mark about if our top players should be playing in the Turkish league. But my joy is that, unlike before, when we see them play for the Antalyaspor, the Trabzonspor, this world, they are playing for proper
the big guns in Turkey.
Besiktas is one of the three biggest teams in Turkey. When you talk about Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, Besiktas, those three are like the big three, right? So their blushes were saved last night, as at the 95th minute was still a 1-0 draw, but thankfully they were able to see it over the line. I saw some of the pictures that were projected for the viewer a moment ago, and you could see how shocked the players at the bench, when the goal came in, and a good one for the Super Eagles. Winning start for Victor Osimhen, winning starts for what you might call it, Wilfred Ndidi as well. So no better way to start the season than on a winning note. That gives them some level of confidence, and also it makes them relaxed that okay, we can achieve great things this season, and it's the only place from here is upwards. So I wish them the very best. throughout the
All
whole
right,
season.
thank you for that one, Daniel Uche, and of course, congratulations to all the Nigerian players in Turkey as we speak, likes of Osimhen, with Didi, and of course, those that will definitely kickstart their league next. I mean, coming in the coming days, with the likes of the Beku boys, Samuel Chukwueze for AC Milan, Ademola Lookman. We are still waiting for where the Penguin will definitely, spin to right now. Talking about Ademola Lookman. All right, away from local football, let's move straight to foreign football. We'll be starting with the Premier League. Arsenal quest for Premier League glory got off to a winning start as Ricardo Calafiori's goal beat Manchester United 1-0 on Sunday. While world champions, talking about Chelsea Football Club, were lucky to escape. I love that. They were so lucky to escape with a goalless draw against Crystal Palace. And after the game, between United and, of course, Arsenal FC, their head coach talking about, Man United head coach talking about Ruben Amorim said something. He said, "We proved today that we can win any game in the Premier League. We were the better team against a great team like Arsenal." All right, Daniel Esege. Ruben Amorim said Arsenal is a great team in Premier League. Do you agree with Ruben Amorim?
I think it's difficult to argue against him, not because of the fact that Arsenal, have been failing to win the title this past few years. But I mean, this is a team that's finished in second position in back-to-back seasons, or back-to-back seasons, like you can even say, So you can tell that. I mean, that counts for a lot. What that means is that this is a team that poised to take it a notch further and go ahead to win the title. Okay, so 15th coming up against second last season.
Come on, it's crazy.
13 positions between them, to lose by a slim goal, a very controversial goal like that, is something to take on from. And anyone who saw that match last night can easily tell that United were the better side. Had more possession.
Daniel, you said something about that goal that is a controversial goal. I remember last season, John Obi Mikel came out and he said most of Arsenal goals from the corner kick should be checked or cancelled because of the way their players used to disturb our goalkeepers. And we saw it again against Manchester United, where Saliba disturbed Ben Yedder. Of course, that is his own territory. I blame the goalkeeper because it's his own territory. He should have caused some chaos. Then referee should have, called them and talked to them instead of allowing him to get away with it. Talking about Saliba. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think they should always look into Arsenal whenever they want to play that corner kick? We call them the corner kick FC.
So the thing for me would be that let's face this. What Saliba did there is considered to be legal. He didn't do anything wrong. If he did anything wrong, the referee would have raised alarm for an infringement. So I don't think he did anything illegal. He just that's how rules and laws are meant to be. Just sometimes you have to exploit some of these things. All right. So I think in that vein, I'll say he didn't do anything wrong, but the goalkeeper didn't make the best of his territory, like you rightly said. It's his territory. So there are certain things he could have done. He could, just the same way he was being, pecked back, or will I say bullied. He could have.
Yes,
he has
of course.
Bullying the opposition. All right. Another mistake he made was there was no reason why he shouldn't have gone with his fist. Going with your palm, you should know that it won't be as firm and strong as your feet would be. So I think that's another mistake he made. Majorly, that's even a major mistake he made there. Had he fisted that ball, I mean, he would have fisted it to safety. So I just feel that's a big job mistake for me. So, and it just cost the team at the end of the day.
All right. According to Ruben Amorim, do you think they can definitely challenge any team in the Premier League this season? We all saw the game. They dominated the game from 0 minutes to 90 minutes, all thanks to the likes of Kuna, Mbomo, and Co. Mentioned them. They all came to the party yesterday against Arsenal Football Club.
Yes, United have shown that they went to the market and they got the best legs for them, for the situation they find themselves in. I think what caused them last night was the fact that they didn't have a focal point in number 9, acting for them, and aside from that, I think they were really fantastic. But then again, it's just game week 1. Great team performance was game week 1. What that means is that these players also want to put in their best. They want to start with their best foot forward so as to win the fans over and to show that they deserve to be here. Because let's face it, United are a mighty team. The players that they got are not even great players. Matheus Cunha is, an average player coming from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Mbeumo, also another average player from Cameroon playing for Brentford. Those are not the players that should ordinarily come into flood United.
A team like Manchester United.
Yes, I can understand that you bring in 1 or 2 players from lower teams to enter the first level, not a flurry of players. You understand? Look at Patrick Dogbu yesterday, fantastic performance from him. You understand? But he came in from Lecce straight into the United lineup. Cunha, Mbeumo. You understand? These are players coming from average or below average teams, walking straight into United team. That's a sign of a problem, right? That means they can't attract the best players anymore. All right, and they don't even have best players to compete with these average players. But at the end of the day, like I said,
but Daniel, the question is, how many top players do we have in the world these days? Because take a look at Arsenal team, they are just a bunch of average players. Go to City, even Manchester City. How many world class do we have there? Go to Liverpool, how many world class do we have there? So it feels somehow,
Okay, I think you have the very valid point there. The quality of top footballers around the globe, it has dropped drastically. But then again, you have to understand that these Arsenal players, a lot of them started out as being average or below average players, but are going into being top players. Players like Saliba, players like Gabriel Magalhaes, and players like Bukayo Saka. They've grown into that level of being considered one of the best players in the world. So I think United might get there. You understand, but these players, as compared to the Arsenal players I just mentioned, they are not as young as those ones for you to expect that of them, for them to go into what we consider great players. But you never know. Some players don't start out great early in their careers. Case in study is a certain Luka Modric. He wasn't a top player until later in his career, probably when he was in his mid-20s and the like. So what could you expect? But I believe strongly that United started in the best possible way. We want to say that the best possible way would have been to win, but it wasn't just to be. That performance was a very strong and solid performance. Not very often do you get to see us now being pegged back that much. All right, so a beautiful performance from them at the end of the day, and there's no way that Ruben Amorim would have been satisfied with the performance of this
I just hope that Manchester United will be able to build on that performance. All right, another game that also went down. We saw Chelsea play the goalless draw against Crystal Palace. What did Chelsea, where did they get it wrong against Crystal Palace? Because they managed to get that score line.
When we were together last weekend, I mentioned it to you that there was a reason why I kept on emphasizing, or should I say, putting this Chelsea team side by side with Leicester City. It's not because I mean to disrespect Chelsea or I mean to downgrade them, but I'm not carried away by the success to realize that this team is still a team of young and naive players. You're right. They may have gone on to achieve a lot within the past 3 months or thereabouts. Great for them, right? But it doesn't eliminate the fact that these players are still the same personnel that were bought for the future. That they are achieving a lot right now doesn't mean that they are ripe enough.
They are there already.
We saw players like Achempong start. We saw players like Bettens, who was just signed from Dortmund. We saw players like Esteval come on as well. I mean, no disrespect to these players.
Esteval still playing as if he's playing in the Brazilian league. Come on, this is Premier League.
No, he did well enough for me. That's how players like Cristiano Ronaldo started out when they moved to the Premier League. Showboating, dribbling a lot, and even Savinho. Sevilla had a good season as far as I'm concerned last season. One of his best players. Yes, and that's how I started. That the first picture was this Chelsea. It cost a lot of havoc, dribbling, carelessly and all of that. So, but my point is, these players are still very young players. These are players who are just getting into that level of being a top professional. So I'm not expecting them to win the league. You understand? Top 4 again, back-to-back season, coupled with maybe the FA Cup or something, will be fantastic. You understand? So I want to believe that this has humbled the Chelsea fans. This has brought them back to a point where they maybe do a reality check or something to know that these players are not what you think they are. They can have, glimpses of this kind of performances like the one they had against Paris Saint-Germain in the finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. But I don't think they can do it on a consistent basis. Yesterday afternoon, just proved that I was actually spot on when I mentioned all of that.
All right, and of course, a great performance from Liverpool number 9, talking about Ugo Ekitike, was also on target against Bournemouth. And of course, Chiesa was also on target for Liverpool. Do you think Liverpool have what it takes to defend this Premier League this season?
Liverpool are a strong side, defending champions like Liverpool did, and they fortified that squad immensely. Fortified across board. They brought in 2 new fullbacks, brought in a new attacking midfielder, brought in a new number 9. I mean, where else can you strengthen? Okay, so they've strengthened across board, and I think they know that there's no other thing to do than to try to defend the title properly. But they are also aware, maybe Ancelotti isn't, but Liverpool as a whole are aware of the difficulties of them winning the league. This is the team that didn't win the league for 29 years, took them to up on the 30th season to win the league. And after that, it has taken them another 5 years to win the league. So I won't consider a season not winning the league to be a terrible season for them. It's just the reality of the Premier League. Very difficult to defend.
All right, another great performance from Manchester City, and of course, the Viking himself, we call him the Beast. His name is Erling Haaland. Got a brace against Wolverhampton Wanderers over the weekend. Is City back? Daniel, are they back? Daniel, can you hear me? All right, it seems his network is not cooperating. Let's take a look at all the results. Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 0, Newcastle United 0, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Sunderland 3, West Ham 0, Tottenham 3, Burnley 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Manchester City 4. Crystal Palace played a goalless draw against Chelsea Football Club. Nottingham Forest started from where they stopped last season. They defeated Brentford 3-1. And Manchester United lost at Old Trafford 0-1 to Arsenal Football Club. All right, away from English Premier League, let's move straight to Spanish La Liga. We're talking about La Liga. Spanish champions, Barcelona opened their Liga campaign over the weekend with an island cruise as they played almost an hour against 9 men on their way to a 3-0 victory in Mallorca. Talking about La Liga, the first 3 games over the weekend, we tagged it Red Liga. Because in the match against Girona, there was a red card. In the match against Villarreal, there was also a red card. And of course, in Barcelona game against Mallorca, we also saw 2 red cards for Mallorca. So Barcelona played almost 70 minutes, with the 2-man down against Mallorca. But you can't take anything away from the lad called Lamine Yamal. He was also on target over the weekend. Rafinha started from where he stopped last season, and of course Ferran Torres was also on target for Barcelona. Only time will tell whether they will definitely retain the league. This season they started really well against a team like Mallorca, winning away from home. It is not easy in Spanish La Liga, and of course we should also give the man called Hansi Flick, his flowers. We always give him his own credit. He has done really well with this Barcelona team. Daniel Osege, are you with us now?
Yeah, I've always been with you. We're in Nigeria, so things like this happen.
All right, I was just talking about Barcelona against Mallorca. They played against 9 men. And of course, you can't take away anything away from Lamine Yamal. I saw the cracker, the stunning goal he scored against Mallorca. What a fantastic goal from the lad.
I call this match the Samuel derby. Two teams that Samuel played for, and scored a lot of goals for during his time in Spain. Remember, just so you know, is the all-time goal scorer for Mallorca in the La Liga. You know, understand? So but back to the match itself, I think fantastic display from Barcelona. I think I'm moving a bit disappointed that they couldn't score way more than this because you have to understand that Mallorca received 2 red cards, like you rightfully said. But at the end of the day, one step at a time. If 3 points is 3 points at this point in time, when you advance in the season, that's when you now discover if you need goals difference and all of that. But in the La Liga, I think head to head comes to the 4.
Yes.
Before goals difference. So fantastic one. I know a lot of football fans are looking forward to Lamine Yamal's performances this season. A lot of them are looking out for his downfall. Some are looking for his inconsistency in performance because they feel like the jersey number 10 is too heavy for him. We had that discussion.
A lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, but I told you that. See, look, a player like Lamine Yamal is a player like Wayne Rooney, for instance, who started out at United when jersey number 8, switched to wearing number 10, or maybe a player like David Beckham, who also wore number 10 and number 7 at United. I don't know why United players keep coming to my mind. Another easily is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, where put number 9 and number 10 for a great club like that. So he's a generational talent. He's going to deliver. You give him the jersey number 1, you give him the jersey number 99, whatever number you choose for him, he's going to play his game. And he's shown a lot of maturity in his football. He's shown that he can play under pressure, play against the best players in the world. And he just did what great players do, making an impact in games. And what a screamer, what a beauty he scored of a goal over the weekend. So I just look forward to seeing what such a career is going to have. And like you rightfully said, Barcelona, picking up the pieces from where they stopped last season, dominance galore. The next game is going to be at home, so you expect them to start off the season with 2 consecutive.
Hope it is not too early to say that they will definitely defend the La Liga.
I know obviously it's still early days. Real Madrid are yet to play. You understand, for you to know what is going to be on display. Last season, Kylian Mbappe was on fire. That's why he won the Pichichi at the end of the day, scoring over 40 goals in all competitions. He also won the European Golden Shoe and all of that. But we want to see if the other guys who bring in enough input to complement what he's going to bring in before we know if we're going to have a title challenge at hands. Atletico Madrid started the season awfully, so it looks like maybe they're still the same Atletico Madrid
that we used to know.
Yes, finishing in 3rd position as always. So let's see Madrid play. Let's see both teams play in August and September, and then we can start having an idea of what the season look like.
All right, and of course, in Bilbao match, we also saw another fantastic display from Nico Williams. Nico Williams will always be a Nico Williams any day, anytime. Let's take a look at other results. Mallorca 0, Barcelona 3, Girona 1, Vallecano, Rayo Vallecano 3, Villarreal 2, Real Oviedo 0, Alaves 2, Levante 1, Atletico Bilbao 3, Sevilla 2, Espanyol 2, Atletico Madrid 1, Valencia 1, Real Sociedad 1, Celta Vigo 0, and of course, Christantus Uche, Getafe 2. Away from foreign football, let's move straight to other sports. In the world of basketball, the D Tigers powered into the quarterfinals of the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket Championship in Angola on Sunday, following a comfortable 99-90 victory over Cameroon in their last group game. Diallo Sege, another $100,000 waiting for the D Tigers. What a great performance from the D Tigers. They started really slow against Cameroon, but take a look at the end result. 99-90. Hello, Daniel. Do you think you can go all the way to win this one?
Yes, I think it's not beyond the Tigers to to try to win this title. It's a title they've won once before. All right, like you said, there's a motivation of a certain 100K
Come on,
dollars for each player.
let's talk about.
You know. But some of these players, will tell you that they're yet to be credited and all of that, But let's leave that for that. I keep telling people, there's always going to be when it comes to government, there's difference between approval and disbursement. All right, so you have to just wait and see. But I think the match against Cameroon was a pure testament to the fact that the Tigers rather, are ready to go the length. You understand? And you know how it works. The quality of the opposition will determine how much you put on display. Their first game, they scored 77 points, won by 18. Second game, we scored 87 points, won by 21. You see the improvement. But Cameroon were able to score more points than the Tigers had scored in previous two, so that to exceed their previous best. We're going all the way to be shy by 1 point of 100. Understand? So I think kudos to Cameroon for pushing the guys, but it also means that they've taken them to places where the boys are now in their mojo. You understand? So when it gets into the quarterfinals, it can only get better. Yeah, so I don't see them scoring as much as 99 points in any other game going forward. But I mean, that has even put them in that mood to attack the basket more. And it's left to see if they'll be able to accomplish or replicate what their female counterparts were able to do just last month.
All right, thank you for your contribution, Daniel Osege. That is how much you can take on Sports on Enterprise TV 7. Endeavor to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified of all alerts. Follow us across our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7 and like, share, and engage on our content with our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com for all the news you can use, the inclusives, and the live update. Daniel Osege has been great on the show today.
Many thanks for having me as always. We look forward to yet another edition together. And to the viewers,
my name remains John Olaskomi. See you next time.
Of truth. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.